All right, we are now ready to begin tonight's press conference. We're joined by Creighton head coach Greg McDermott, junior point guard Marcus Zegarowski. A reminder, if you've got a question, click on the raised hand feature. And then we also request you keep yourself muted until we call on you to ask a question. We'll open it up with a statement from head coach Greg McDermott, then take questions for either gentleman. Coach, go ahead.
Well, we're thrilled to get the win. I think it goes without saying that Nebraska is a much improved team from a year ago. Their length certainly gave us some problems the first half with some of our turnover issues, and I thought we probably were getting into the paint and trying to make plays for ourselves off the dribble rather than attacking the basket with our eyes up and with the idea that I'm going to make a play for somebody else, and if they take all that away, then I'll revert back to myself. And when we're playing at our best, we're not thinking about ourselves. We're thinking about how we can get somebody else a shot. But, we overcame some foul trouble the first half, and then, CB gets his first one right away the third, and I thought Ryan Kalkbrenner really came in and gave us a lift. Even against their smaller lineup, they tried to go at him with some switches with Mahan, and he blocked a shot, and he forced a travel, and we were able to get it inside, and he was able to be effective. And then I thought Sharif really gave us a lift off the bench that second half as well. But, 17 assists or whatever we had, 14, 15 assists the second half, and only a few turnovers. That's the way we have to play. And defensively, we were obviously much more active, forced them into 25 turnovers and turned that into 38 points. And if our defense is doing that, we've got a chance to be pretty special.
All right, we'll start with questions, beginning with Matt DeMarinis from White and Blue Review.
Hey, Marcus. How focused were you today? I imagine there was no one more disappointed after your Tuesday than you were, just knowing your history. But how much time did you spend in the gym to get that ahead and get ready for this?
Obviously it was tough. We missed a free throw at a point in time like that versus a great team like Kansas. But I got a great support system. I got a great family. I have phenomenal teammates. I got a great coaching staff, and they told me to keep my head high. You know what happens? You can't put that that loss on that one free throw, and I just I learned from it. It happens. It's life, and it's not like Coach always tells me. That's not going to be the worst thing that's going to happen in my life. So just got to keep it moving, and that was the mentality going into this game. Is just forget that game, learn from it, and when stuff like that happens in life, you just gotta bounce back and just worry about the next game. And I think that's what I did. I focused on my faith, my family, and my my teammates and my coaches, and everything else fell into place.
Next, from the Omaha World Herald, we'll go to John Miatalo.
Excuse me, I didn't hear the second part of the question.
Why do you think you were able to break it open, to sort of break the game open, getting some more separation from Nebraska in the second half?
I just think it's our offense. There's a blueprint where there's just, when our spacing is really good, it helps, make those gaps bigger, and, I can try and use my, savviness and use my change of speed to try and get in the paint and make a play for somebody else or myself. And, I think I did a, pretty good job of that. I had a few bad turnovers, but like I said before, I learned from it. I watched the film, and I just get better from it.
All right, next we'll go back to John Miatalo again.
Mark, this one more for you, Marcus. Can you sense the game changing? Or when do you get a sense of the game so that you got the momentum and you want to kind of put them away? Could you sense that?
I think it starts on the defensive end for us. Once we get stops going, it leads to our offense. So. We're always going to play fast. We're always going to, score the ball, pretty well. I think we have a great group of guys who are unselfish and who make plays for each other, and, that will always be us. But, sometimes there's lapses on defense where we break down. But if we stay, connected and, really, guard the ball and, make the other team take tough shots, I think that's when the momentum starts to go in our favor, because then it leads to transition baskets and it leads to easy baskets. And I think that's what we did in the second half.
All right, next we'll go to KTV's Andy Kendi.
Obviously it means a little bit more. We treat every game the same. We go in expecting to win, and we prepare the same as if it was any other game. But there's obviously a little bit more to it. It's our rival, and it's an important game for our fans, and we're just happy to play for them and make sure it's still a blue state.
Next, we'll go back to Matt DeMarinis.
Hey, Mac. Sorry. It seemed like in those first few minutes of the second half that you guys were able to get some good penetration and generate some good looks that didn't go down. Did you sense the game was about, like you were about to break the game up? Did you notice a shift in terms of your energy level on both ends that contributed to it?
Well, I was hopeful that we were going to get some good shots because of the talk we had at halftime. Like I said, I thought we drove it a little bit too much, looking for our own the first half. And then their length bothered us as a result of that at the basket. And once we had the talk at halftime and decided that, we just trust the offense. Get in there, do your job, set your feet, spray it, make an extra pass, good things will happen. You'll get better shots than the ones you're taking right now. And the guys responded to that, which was good to see. And I thought defensively, especially the first, they scored 13 points the first 21 possessions. So, that defense allowed us to get out and transition and do what we do. We fouled far too much the first half, and that slowed even though the game was 84 points, that slowed the pace to a place that we didn't really want it.
Next, we'll go back to John Miatalo with the Omaha World Herald.
Yeah, Greg, you've been involved in this game a lot. I mean, rivalry games always have like that emotional element, and things can turn, I know, but man, you guys at home have there's been a number of just runs where it's just kind of decided for a really long stretch. Why? Why do you think that's happened in these rivalries so often?
I've got good players. I mean, it's pretty simple. And they play the right way. And when you do that, our goal with the way we play is to hit you with a run at some point in the game. Most basketball games, you have TV timeout to TV timeout, and during that 4-minute segment, we win by 2, they win by 2, we tie. But which team can go on that 12-2 run and change the complexion of the game? And we've been able to do that with the way that we play. And, fortunately, we've been able to recruit to the way that we play, and we have a group of guys that have really bought into that. And generally it's been, especially in this game, because of the enthusiasm in the building, the crowd has been a big part of that. It just killed me at the start of that game not to have people in the stands because it's such an important game for both fan bases. And, we've got a good team. Nebraska's improved. It would have been a fun one for everybody to see in person. And I'm hopeful that, at some point this darn virus slows down and we can get a few people back in the building. And because these guys deserve it. They deserve to, have some people cheering behind them. And as disappointed as we were with the loss at Kansas, the energy in the building that the 2,500 people provided made it feel somewhat normal. And, these guys deserve some of that.
We got time for 3 more questions. We'll start with Andy Kendi.
Greg, when you described the halftime speech, you mentioned the halftime speech. How would you describe the mood? Was it everybody calm? You got a veteran team, but especially when you compare the halftime last year to this, how would you contrast the mood?
Well, I mean, most of it's the same guys, and they're a year older, and they've been through the battles, and they understand changes that need to be made. And oftentimes I can grab one of the guys on the way to the locker room and have a talk with them, so that after I quickly address the team, they can talk about it amongst each other. And we're fortunate to have the leadership of Denzel and DJ and Marcus and Mitch, and Christian's been around, and Jake's been around, and Jet's been around, and that they can have real conversations about what needs to change, and nobody's going to get offended. And that's really the key to a special team, because we're all going to lose our way. Everybody that puts on a Creighton uniform, there's going to be games where you're not quite playing the way that we're supposed to play. And how quickly can the rest of the group reel that guy back in and get us back on track? And, I had to do that at halftime with their help, and the result speaks for itself. And the key moving forward is, can we change it in game when we're just off a little bit? And sometimes when you're not scoring baskets, your defensive energy isn't quite where it needs to be. and you get frustrated because a teammate drives in and maybe you were open and they miss you on a pass, so now you're not as locked in defensively. If we just share the ball and move the ball, all that stuff takes care of itself. That's why you see multiple guys with 5 assists, 2 assists, positive assist to turnover numbers, because that's the way that we play, and it starts with the leadership, and that Marcus, Mitch, DJ, and Dan's, they drive this bus.
All right, we'll go to Matt DeMarinis before finishing up with John Miatalo. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Marcus, I know he was kind of taken out of rhythm a little bit tonight due to some foul trouble, but it just feels like when Christian's on the floor, there's like a different level you guys can go to in terms of being disruptive defensively and also putting pressure on all parts of the court on offense. Like, how much better does he make you guys when he's able to be on the floor and do all those things for you?
Yeah, he definitely makes us better. I think, he's grown so much, under this system, and he just knows what to do, when to do it. On defense, he knows exactly where to be. He changes shots for us, and then on offense, he's really active. He can pass the ball well. He has a great touch, and he's extended his range. So, I think he had a great offseason, and you're seeing it now. And every day in practice he brings it. I'm just really happy for him, and it's he's growing every game.
Our final question for John Miatalo with the Omaha World Herald.
Just kind of a more bigger picture question, Marcus. Just to see, see you guys, obviously winning's fun, but that experience of just being on the court together, there's a lot going on in the world, but how much fun you guys have and just being able to get out there and play. I know you wish you had fans, but just that experience, what's it mean to you?
Yeah, I think I'm speaking for the rest of the guys. I think we're really thankful. It's a crazy world right now, and for us to be able to practice, be around, good people, be around a great environment, in a tough world right now, and to be able to play a game that we all love and be able to be together doing it is great. My twin brother Max, he plays in New Hampshire, and he's been practicing since August, and they go 3 hours a day, and he doesn't know if he has games. It's just so I look at him, I'm like, okay, like there's no reason for me to complain about anything, even though the world is so crazy. But yeah, I think we're all thankful. We just want to, just keep preparing and just keep winning games. Stack them up.
All right, that'll do it for tonight's
Thank you.
session. We will send out an email with the files shortly.